If you're a fellow enjoyer of Hot Wheels diecast or toy collecting, most of y'all are probably still looking for a chase car such as that Super Treasure Hunt or maybe even a Matchbox Super Chase, or just a cool and popular car that you happen to want. But every time you walk into a store, every peg you go through, all you see is undesirable slop, like whatever this is. So, what happened to all the decent cars, you ask? You see, this happened. Fortunately for me, I found an alternative way of collecting. I am CZ612 and I want to share why I like to collect Hot Wheels secondhand from my local thrift stores. First of all, I like to search for secondhand Hot Wheels because it's my favorite way to look for older models, such as discontinued or pre-tooled castings, which is a term I like to call pre-retooled Hot Wheels castings. To give an example, this here is my Diora 2 with the original tooling, and for comparison, here is what the current Diora 2 looks like. This one was released in the year 2003, and what I like about this pre-tooled Diora 2 is that the windshield doesn't sink in like this modern one here. It gives the truck its iconic bubbly design. In case you didn't know, most Diora 2s released before 2021 came with detachable surfboards, which is really neat in my opinion if you ignore the fact that you might lose them one day. The cooler part is that mine comes with two different colored surfboards, a yellow one and a black one. Aside from the overall build of this casting and the interesting colors, the 5-dot rims, especially on the Diora 2, in my opinion are simply exquisite. Despite the fact that I didn't like the 5-dot when I was younger, this wheel type has grown on me as of now because I find it eye-catching. For me, these rims look the most amazing on pickup trucks and supercars, which the Diora 2, funny enough, is pretty much a mix of both of them. Other than this Diora 2, some of my favorite finds from the modern Hot Wheels era include Showstopper and MST Suzuka. Here are some other cool ones that I enjoyed finding, most of which are from the 2000s era, which is probably the definitive modern Hot Wheels era for most enthusiasts. Of course, during my scavenging, I do not solely pick up modern era Hot Wheels, because I also get fascinated by vintage castings that date back to even the 1970s due to their differences in their build quality and their weight compared to modern era Hot Wheels. Other than that, I also think that they have a very charming vintage look from a bygone era that I never really grew up with, and I respect and I admire that. I would like to showcase some more cars. This one is called Steamroller, although in my opinion I think it's more of a race car. This car here is my first one from the Red Line era, which starts from 1968 until 1977. This car is not part of the Sweet 16, but it's still considered a red line because it was released in 1974. Despite its condition being anything but mint, I really like this car because I think it's one of my more interesting finds. Of course it was cheap too, another reason why I like to look for second-hand cars. Being my first red line, what I like about it is that it was built with a lot of heavy metal, something that you don't really have in the modern mainline. And the look of it, it just screams 1970s toy car, and I really like that spirit. It's a nice piece to have as a Hot Wheels fan who enjoys their legacy. Let's move forward to the 1980s, and this absolute unit here has got to be one of the coolest black wall castings in my collection. It's called Longshot, and this was released as a mainline in 1983. And yes, you heard me correct. This is a mainline that you could find on the pegs during the 80s. While it doesn't have a metal base, it makes up for it with its mass. It's long, heavy, and it feels interesting to pick up and roll on my desk. Now, since this one is originally designed as a mainline, Longshot doesn't come with a trailer, but I still think it's pretty fire because judging from the deco, I like to imagine this one being a kind of race truck. This thing makes the new Optimus Prime mainline feel like a hypermite. Another one I have here is a Hot Ones car, and it's also considered part of the Black Ball era. This is a Datsun 200SX, which is also known as the Nissan Silvia in Japan. This one is also from 1983, and as you can see, the temples have eroded in time. At least the paint is fairly decent, I guess. Aside from being metal on metal, I absolutely adore the opening hood part because the majority of modern Hot Wheels can't do that. Not even the premium ones. Opening parts are like another trait that's lost in time from the Hot Wheels brand, and the closest we have today outside of RLC or other premium segments are Matchbox moving parts, which are also done by Mattel. Now the next car that I want to show is not exactly vintage, but it is from a discontinued toy line from Hot Wheels. If you're a fan of Hot Wheels from the 2000s era or original Hot Wheels fantasy designs in general, then I'm sure most of you might know this car, but for those who don't, the model I'm holding here is called Spinebuster. And this is not just any Spinebuster, this is the original Spinebuster from the 2005 toy line, which was paired with a series of animated movies of the same name. What is that toy line called, you ask? So due to accelerators being discontinued and abandoned by Mattel after 2006, the value of these toys have went up in value as collector's items. But I found this Spinebuster for the price of half a mainline. And for its price point, I say that the condition it has is really solid aside from the front axle being slightly bent, making it turn slightly when rolling. But despite that, this car is really satisfying to roll around due to how fast it feels. This car is driven by my favorite character, Mark Wilde.
Hold it! Spinebuster's my car!
And I also really like the black and red livery that this vehicle has, because it really works on this casting and it really helps it to gain its appeal in the Accelerators movie and its toy line. This car is probably one of my top 5 in my collection. It's probably one of my favorite Accelerators cars too, and my favorite Metal Maniacs vehicle. In terms of design, this car is like a cross between a supercar or a race car and a hot rod with exposed engines, and it gives this car a very fast, mean and powerful vibe, and that's what I absolutely adore about it. This car, along with other vehicles released in the Accelerators toy line, actually has a plastic shell with a metal base. The reason for this is that Accelerators cars were designed to be good on track playsets, And a plastic on metal Hot Wheels car has a lower center of gravity, which makes it better for track use. Despite that, I think this car still has a lot of quality to offer because the other traits such as the co-mode wheels and the cool deco make up for it. So it has this slight premium vibe to it, and it also makes a great toy because you don't really have to fear losing its paint. While collecting toy cars secondhand is an easier way to get something that's rare or vintage for a good price, I don't think you should expect to get red lines or accelerators all the time because despite there being a chance to find something amazing at your thrift store or your flea market, I think that the chances can still be really low. Despite that, I still find it fun to search weekly at my usual spots, hoping that I find something really special or really interesting. Another thing is that the cars you find are not guaranteed to be in a good condition. Some of them could have their paint chipped off or bent axles, others have missing parts. I mean, some of the cars that I pick up look like they had a resale value beaten out of them. Other than my Redline Steamroller, another beat up car that I enjoy in my collection is this NASCAR Plymouth Belvedere, which is a stock car driven by Richard Petty years before his famous Plymouth Superbird existed. To clarify, this is not a Hot Wheels, it's from a brand called Racing Champions. You can see that my one here is in a pretty rough condition, but personally I think that this gives it some character. This looks like a car that was driven in a demolition derby, but it could also have the look of like an abandoned race car you find in a junkyard or something, which I think that makes it more unique than a mint copy, because how I see it, this car has a story to tell. Who knows what it came from, where it could be someone's favorite toy, but then it got abandoned or thrown out in some way. To sum it up, I think that collecting second-hand toy cars is my favorite way to breathe new life into used items, giving them a second chance. Collecting second-hands also introduces me to some cool models that I was unfamiliar with at first, such as the Rat Bomb, the Chevy Pro Stock S10, and the Volkswagen W12 Nardo concept from Matchbox. The best part is that you're not paying a crazy amount for it, like an eBay listing or something. And you feel a sense of adventure and reward for finding the car, and with that is the reason that I like to collect second-hand Hot Wheels. What do you think about collecting second-hand Hot Wheels or other toys? Feel free to share your opinion in the comments and have an exquisite day.